Good morning, students. We have completed the kinetic theory of gases, concluded the mean free path. Okay. Now we are going to start with new type of motion. We have already studied different types of motion earlier: linear motion or rectilinear motion, then projectile motion. We have studied these type of motions, and then we have studied circular motion, motion of a planet around the sun, that is orbital motion of planets. These are the types of motions that we have studied. When we studied the rectilinear motion, motion in a straight line, motion in two dimensions, those motions were not repetitive. They were not repeating. So based on that, we understood the concepts of displacement, speed, acceleration and so on. Then we studied projectile motion also. The projectile motion is also not repetitive, right? Now you consider motion of a planet around the sun. Motion of the planet around the sun. This is planet and this is sun. This is a circular motion, if it is a circular orbit, or it is a repetitive motion. The motion of the planet around the sun repeats regularly. Similarly, motion of a satellite around the planet also repeats regularly. Right? So, such motions are termed as periodic motions. Periodic motions. We have studied periodic motions already. Motion of a planet around the sun. Similarly, motion of satellites around the planets. So, such motions are repetitive. So, first we must understand what is a periodic motion. The motion which repeats itself regularly after a fixed interval of time is called as periodic motion. The motion which repeats regularly after a fixed interval of time is called, already we have studied this, periodic motion. Now consider the motion of a pendulum. Motion of a pendulum in the pendulum clock. You must have observed the motion of pendulum in the pendulum clock. It is also repetitive. When you just take the pendulum, this is called pendulum bob. Displace it through certain angle. Suppose this is the support, and this is the mean position, undisturbed position, the position at which it will be in equilibrium, position at which it will be at rest is called mean position, or equilibrium position. You just displace it through some angle and just release it. When you release it, you see the pendulum bob goes to the mean position and then it will not stop. It goes to the other extreme end. It reaches here and then repeats back. Again it will be repeating back, reaches the mean position and doesn't stop. Again it goes to the other extreme end. So in this way, it undergoes to and fro motion. It undergoes to and fro motion about the equilibrium position, mean position or equilibrium position. Such a motion is also periodic motion, but you see the difference here. It is also repetitive. It is also repeating the motion. And here, motion of a planet around the sun is also repetitive. What is the difference here? The planet is not undergoing to and fro motion. The planet is undergoing orbital motion. This is the orbit of the planet. So it undergoes orbital motion. If it is circular orbit, then it is undergoing circular motion. Even a planet spins around its own axis. It rotates around its own axis. That is also periodic motion. Rotation of planet. Rotation of planet around its own axis. This is also an example of periodic motion. So this is also repeating regularly. So every complete motion repeats regularly after a fixed interval of time. That interval of time after which the motion repeats is called as periodic time or time period. It is called as time period. But you see the difference here. This is a oscillatory motion of a pendulum. The pendulum goes to one extreme and this is called extreme position. You can say this is the right extreme position and this is mean position. When it repeats back, it doesn't stop at the mean position. It goes to the other extreme position. This is what we can call it as left extreme position. Left extreme position. Right extreme position, left. So this is how the pendulum keeps on moving, repeating its motion about a mean position, or equilibrium position. Such a type of motion is called as oscillatory motion. So oscillatory motion is also a periodic motion. So first of all, we have understood what is periodic motion. The motion which repeats regularly after a fixed interval of time is called as periodic motion. But this is a special case of periodic motion. This is also definitely a periodic motion, but it undergoes to and fro motion. So the periodic to and fro motion is called as the oscillatory motion. You can take one more example. Example of a spring. Consider a spring attached with a wooden block taken on smooth surface, on a table surface. One end of the spring is fixed to the rigid support, other end of the spring is connected to a wooden block or any mass. When you just stretch it to some extreme position and release, when you stretch it and release, then what happens? It also repeats, it also moves back and forth. It also moves back and forth. It will not stop immediately here. It goes to the other extreme position and again it returns back to the mean position and goes to the other extreme position. So it undergoes to and fro motion about the equilibrium position. This is it's a zero position. We can call it as equilibrium position. So this is, you can say, minus x m, and this is, you can say, plus x m position, maximum displacement. So it undergoes a motion about the equilibrium position. This to and fro motion, which is periodic, it is called as oscillatory motion. So we can define oscillatory motion as periodic to and fro motion. Periodic to and fro motion is called oscillatory motion. Periodic to and fro motion about mean position is called the oscillatory motion. This is spring attached with the load. This is simple pendulum. So like this, we will be able to see to and fro motion. You must have enjoyed in a swing, motion of a swing. You must have enjoyed in a swing when you were kids, right? And the small kid in a cradle. That is also example of oscillatory motion. So oscillatory motion is also periodic motion. But difference is it undergoes to and fro motion, or back and forth motion, or up and down motion. Up and down motion, to give you example, a ship anchored near the sea beach. A ship which is anchored in the sea water near the sea beach. You see, it will be toppling. It will be toppling up and down, up and down. Or a boat toppling up and down on a river surface. So, small example you can take. Suppose you have taken a wooden piece, a wooden block. If you take it on the water surface, if you press this wooden block down and leave it, the wooden block oscillates up and down. The wooden block oscillates up and down. So this is the example of periodic up and down motion. Such a motion is also called as oscillatory motion. Okay. So I gave example of motion of simple pendulum, or motion of a pendulum in a pendulum clock, motion of a swing, right? Motion of a cradle, motion of a spring load, spring attached with the load on the smooth surface, or the spring attached with the load vertically allowed to move up and down. If you just pull the load and leave it, the spring oscillates up and down, right? Similarly, a wooden block, a small wooden piece or wooden block taken on the water surface, pressed down and left, it oscillates up and down. So such a type of motion is called as periodic to and fro motion, or periodic back and forth motion, or periodic up and down motion. So such type of motions are called as oscillatory motions. So from this we can conclude all the oscillatory motions are periodic motions. All the oscillatory motions are periodic in nature. But you see, this is not oscillatory motion. Motion of a planet around the sun is a periodic motion. Motion of a satellite around a planet, motion of a satellite around a planet is also periodic motion, which repeats regularly after a fixed interval of time. And rotational motion of a planet around its own axis is also periodic motion. It has got a fixed time period, right? So time period of rotation of Earth around its own axis is 24 hours. Time period of revolution of Earth around the Sun is 1 year, 365 days. So these are all periodic motion. So we can conclude that all oscillatory motions are periodic, but all periodic motions are not oscillatory. Okay. So thus we can conclude all periodic motions are oscillatory, but all oscillatory motions are not periodic. All periodic motions are not oscillatory. This is important conclusion. Now, there is another type of motion you must observe. If you take a scale, hold one end of the scale to the edge of the table, and the other end of the scale should be free. So, if you press the scale and leave it, the scale vibrates up and down. You must enjoy it. If you take a rubber band, stretch the rubber band and just pluck the rubber band up and leave, the rubber band vibrates. You take any string instrument like a guitar or sitar or veena, if you just pluck the string and leave it, the string vibrates and we hear very pleasing sound. So vibratory motion. So oscillatory motion and vibratory motion. What is the difference between vibratory motion and oscillatory motion? Vibration mode, everybody is aware of it. If you don't want to listen to the call tone, you can keep it in vibration mode. Then when you observe it on the table surface, if the mobile size is small, it vibrates. You can see the vibrations of the mobile if it is small in size. Vibratory mode. So what is the difference between vibrations and oscillations? The to and fro motion or up and down motion or back and forth motion, if it is slow, then we call it as oscillatory motion. If oscillations are fast, we call them as vibrations or vibratory motion. So there is no much difference between oscillatory motion and vibratory motions. When the oscillations occur very fast, if the number of oscillations per second is large, if the frequency of oscillation is large, we call it as vibrations, we call it as vibratory motion. When you beat tabla surface, membrane of tabla, the tabla membrane vibrates, right, and it produces a sound, a pleasing sound. When we take a flute and blow air through the flutes, we hear the flute sound due to vibration of air molecules within the flute. Air instrument, it is called as wind instrument or air instruments. So the oscillatory motions, what we are now studying, it's very basic and important thing, so that we'll be able to understand the vibratory motions of the string instruments like guitar, right, and veena, sitar. These are all called as string instruments. Similarly, the tabla, drum, which have stretched membrane instruments. So by the vibrations of the membrane, they produce sound. And shahnai, flute, these are wind instruments. So vibrations of the air molecules within that tube of the flute or shahnai produce different tones of sound. So it's very basic to understand the oscillatory motion and vibratory motion. Okay. Now, if the oscillations are fast, that is, if the number of oscillations per second is high, we call it as vibratory motion. So there is no much difference vibrations and oscillations. If the frequency of oscillations is high, then we call it as vibrations. Okay. Now, before we learn into the details, before we learn the types of oscillatory motion and what are the features of oscillatory motion, we should know certain terms like period of oscillation, frequency of oscillation, displacement, amplitude, phase. These are all the terms need to be known. Okay. So we'll learn today what is the meaning of time period and what is the meaning of frequency and what is the meaning of displacement. Period. So first we will learn what is time period. So as I have said, time taken for one complete oscillation is called as time period. So what is one complete oscillation? Let us say that this is the pendulum at its equilibrium position, which is at rest. When this pendulum is taken to left extreme position, suppose this is one position which we call it as left extreme position, and then it is released. The moment it is released, let us say we have started a stopwatch, a stop clock, or your wristwatch. When the bob goes to mean position and goes to the other extreme position, returns back to mean position and reaches the same position, then we say that it has completed one cycle from left extreme position to right extreme position and again repeats back to left position. It is called as one complete oscillation. So what is the time taken for one complete oscillation, or what is the time taken for one complete cycle, is called as time period. Right? So every periodic motion has its own fixed time called as periodic time or time period, after which the repetition takes place. Repetition of the motion takes place. So the time taken for one complete oscillation is called time period. So it is denoted by T. It is denoted by T. And you know SI unit of time period is second. Now, when you just take it to left extreme position and release, it keeps on oscillating about mean position or equilibrium position. Then what is equilibrium position? Equilibrium position or mean position is that position at which the oscillating body eventually come to rest. Oscillating body eventually come to rest. Why does it come to rest? There are various factors for which the oscillating body comes to rest. Eventually its oscillations die out. Main reasons are the air resistance. When the body is oscillating, when the pendulum is oscillating in the air, it is oscillating against the layers of air. So there is a viscous drag, as we have studied earlier. That viscous drag opposes the free motion of the pendulum, opposes the oscillatory motion of the pendulum. So slowly, eventually, the oscillations, the amplitude of oscillations keep on decreasing and eventually they come to rest. So mean position or equilibrium position is that position at which the oscillating body tends to attain rest once the oscillations die out. Okay. Then when it is kept for oscillating, you see it keeps on oscillating. So number of oscillations that occur per unit time is called as frequency. So what is frequency? Number of oscillations occurring per second. Is called frequency. It is denoted by nu. So it is denoted by nu. Here also, when the spring is taken to right extreme position and released, the load that is attached to the spring keeps on oscillating back and forth about the mean position. So, how many number of such oscillations take place about the mean position per second is called as frequency. So, SI unit of frequency is per second. It is measured number of oscillations per second. Therefore, the SI unit of frequency is per second. Second raised to minus 1. So if it is 1 oscillation per second, it is called as 1 hertz. So hertz, it is the name of the famous scientist who had contributed in the invention of in the experimental demonstration of radio waves. So in the honor of the scientist Hertz, the SI unit of frequency is termed as hertz. Symbolically, it is Hz. 1 hertz is equal to 1 cycle per second. 1 hertz is equal to 1 oscillation per second or 1 cycle per second, or number of oscillations that are occurring per second gives you that many number of hertz. So hertz is the SI unit, which is also equal to per second. So its dimension is t raised to minus 1, whereas the dimension of time period is t raised to 1. Now what is the relation between the frequency and time period? Let us see with the help of an example. On an average, the human heart is found to beat 75 times a minute. Calculate its frequency and time period. On an average, the human heart beats 75 times per minute. Calculate its frequency and time period. If on an average human heart beats 75 times per minute, calculate its frequency and time period. What is the heartbeat frequency and what is heartbeat time period? So frequency is equal to number of oscillations per second.
So here it is number of beats per second. So how many number of beats per second we need to calculate? Here it is given in terms of beats per minute. So heart beats per minute. (75 by minute per minute) 1 minute. So convert this minute into seconds. 75 by 60. So 15 fours are 15 fives are. So it becomes 5 by 4. So if you calculate this, 4 ones are 4, then 1 remains, then 4 twos are 8, then 2 remains, 4 fives are 1.25 hertz. So on an average per second it beats 1.25 times. So this is frequency. Therefore, frequency of heartbeat is 1.25 hertz. Now calculate its time period. What is time period? Time period is equal to time taken for one oscillation which can be calculated from this given data. For 75 oscillations it takes 1 minute. For 75 oscillations it takes 60 seconds. Therefore, for one oscillation, so that is how we calculate. For 75 oscillations it takes 75 beats. Here is an example of beats. For 75 beats it takes 60 seconds. Therefore, for 1 beat, so that becomes time period for 1 beat. Time taken for 1 beat, or time taken for 1 cycle, or time taken for 1 oscillation, time taken for 1 complete revolution, time taken for 1 complete rotation. That's how we call it as time period. So if you calculate this, this is just inverse of what we have calculated. It becomes 4 by 5. So 4 by 5 means 0.8 seconds. So after every 0.8 second, the heartbeat repeats. So this is how we relate frequency with time period. You see, frequency and time period, if you look at it, 75 beats per 60 seconds is the frequency, and 60 seconds divided by 75 beats gives us time period. Therefore, from this we can relate T and nu. T is equal to 1 by nu, or nu is equal to 1 by T. So inverse of time period gives us frequency, or inverse of frequency gives us time period. So every oscillatory motion is described with the help of its own time period and its own frequency. If the number of oscillations per second is high, then we call it as vibratory motion. If it is less, we usually call it as oscillatory motion. That is the only difference between oscillatory motion and vibratory motion. Now next one is the amplitude. What is the amplitude? The maximum displacement. You see, if this is the mean position of the load attached to the spring, when it is stretched to some extreme position, the maximum displacement from the mean position is called as amplitude. Maximum displacement from the mean position is called as amplitude. Okay. Then what is displacement? When it is stretched maximum, then it will have a maximum displacement. When it is released, this displacement measured from the equilibrium position goes on decreasing because it is being pulled back due to restoring force acting on it. As a result, the block goes to the extreme, goes to the mean position, and from the mean position again it goes to the other extreme position. So if you take it as x as the displacement function x is time dependent. First it goes on decreasing, and then it goes on increasing, again it goes on decreasing, and again goes on increasing. So displacement function in the case of oscillatory motion is not a fixed value, it is time dependent function. So we have to define what is displacement function. First we will define what is amplitude. The maximum displacement from the mean position or from the equilibrium position, both are same, is called amplitude. In case of simple pendulum, you see the amplitude is the angle, the maximum angle that a pendulum subtends with the vertical line. The maximum angle the pendulum line subtends with the vertical is called as displacement. When the maximum angular displacement takes place, that maximum angular displacement of the oscillating pendulum is called amplitude of oscillating pendulum. In case of oscillating pendulum, it is angular displacement. In case of linear oscillator like oscillating spring, then the displacement is, if we take it as an x-axis, then the displacement function is the x coordinate itself. So x as a function of time t becomes the displacement. And you see the maximum displacement is the maximum displacement from the equilibrium position to the either of the extreme positions, to the right extreme position or to the left extreme position, is called as displacement. It is called as amplitude. It is called as amplitude. Xm plus xm is the amplitude, or minus xm is the amplitude of linear oscillator, like the spring attached with the load oscillating on horizontal table surface. If it is a wooden block oscillating up and down, we can take here the y-axis. So the maximum displacement about the y-axis is called amplitude of oscillation. So here the displacement is about y-coordinate. Here the displacement is about x-coordinate. Here the displacement is actually the angular displacement theta. So first we have defined what is the amplitude. The maximum displacement from the mean position is called amplitude, and most of the times it is denoted by A. And displacement, here the displacement is not the usual displacement that what we have learned in the description of motion, that is description of linear motion or rectilinear motion. So the shortest distance between two positions we have defined it as a displacement. Here it is different. The displacement is always measured from the mean position. So sometimes the displacement is positive when the movement is about the right direction. When the movement is about left direction, we take it as negative displacement. When the movement of the block or the spring is about positive x-axis, then we take it as positive displacement. When it is repeating back, the movement is towards the left extreme position, then it is taken as negative displacement. So displacement is not constant here, and displacement is changing its value from point to point with respect to time. So that is how we call it as displacement. Here the change of position of an oscillating body, change of position of an oscillating body measured from mean position is called displacement. So for oscillating pendulum, example for oscillating pendulum, you see angular displacement. Theta t becomes the displacement function. It is a function here. It varies with respect to time t, right? For linear oscillator, like oscillating spring, which are drawn along the horizontal surface. Displacement function about the x-axis itself is the displacement function. It is a function of time t. Sometimes it is positive when it is towards the right side, and it is 0 when it is exactly at mean position, and it takes negative value when it is moving towards the left extreme position, right? And it changes its value time to time. Periodically it is changing its time, right? So such a function is called as displacement function. Here the change of position of an object, oscillating body, measured from the mean position is called displacement. And for oscillating pendulum, it is angular displacement theta t as a function of time t. So you see, it's varying from time to time. So now if you take it as negative, at certain position it will be positive, right? So displacement will be positive and negative with respect to time. So in this case, here it is the position of oscillating wooden block up and down is, here it is displacement about y-axis, up and down motion. So yt is the displacement function for a body oscillating up and down. So we'll learn these things in detail in the next session. Thank you. Have a nice day.